So our designing journey actually starts outside of Canva, and this is where we want to conceptualize our brand in terms of designs and look for inspiration. That's the first step. So one of my favorite platforms for doing so is Pinterest. I'm just going to come here and type in something that's related to my field and brand. So my brand is fighting against food waste, so I'm going to search food logo. And immediately I'm going to see a lot of logos that I could work with, and you will start to see some identity designs as well. And these can give you ideas in terms of color. Pay attention to the colors used, the fonts, the different shapes. These all convey different feelings, and it's very important that we take all of them into consideration. So, for example, these ones are more modern, casual, they give you that fun look, whereas some of them are more neat and, as it says, glorious Morcel. So it's very classy and neat. Some of them are very smart. And you want to take this all into consideration, especially with color. And having a board, so on Pinterest, creating a board for different color palettes, fonts, or combinations that you'd be interested in using is going to really help you with this. Another really important thing to know is color theory. So we're going to go over it briefly. There are different sets of colors. We have primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. And the most important thing here that especially beginners need to focus on is to make sure that your color palette or the colors that you choose have a good contrast. That means they are complementary. So you don't want your colors to be too monochromatic because then it's too tiring for the eye. You want to make sure whatever color you use, it has a good brand, a good contrast. And when it comes to choosing a color, it's also really important to think about the different feelings each color conveys, and we could call that color psychology almost. So this website does a great job at showing us some examples. So red is typically associated with boldness, courage, energy. It's very strong and confident. Orange is more friendly, cheerful, fun. Yellow being warmth, positivism, optimism, and green usually associated with freshness, growth, health, harmony, prestige sometimes. Blue being very popular in office spaces in terms that it's very strong and we can count on it. It's trustworthy. Purple, black, very luxurious, classy, prestige. And this other website gives us some more examples. So going through these really helps you. This other website also provides a color wheel, and I could start, according to what I read here and throughout the article, I could start picking colors. And personally for my brand, I think I'm going to go with a green, a darker one to contrast a lighter yellow. So maybe a lemon yellow. Again, my brand is a company that wants to fight against food waste. So I'm going to be using a lot of organic colors to represent the fresh produce. So green and yellow work well for me for now. And now in terms of elements and shapes that I want to use, shape theory really comes in hand. So what's my logo going to be? Also with fonts. So again, here, if you pay attention to the fonts, some of these have rounder edges, whereas the other ones are more box-like and more kind of angled. So that's also important to take into account. For example, these. So they're very different. This one's more flowy. This one's more smart. And so shape theory, as you can see, this photo here shows us that box usually is associated with organized, detailed, knowledgeable, analytical, patient, it's very uniform. Triangle is great for tech companies because it kind of represents leadership, focus, decisive, competitive, strong. Rectangles, and then circles, which is friendly, nurturing, empathetic, persuasive, generous, stabilizing. And squiggle kind of shows that you're thinking outside the box. It's more creative, futuristic sometimes, expressive, intuitive. So you should take all of these into account. And this sketch here does a great job at kind of turning the shapes into characters so we could understand it better. Knowing the fundamentals of shape theory and color theory are really going to ensure that you choose the right font, the right color palette, and the right elements for your logo. So I highly suggest going over these for a little bit. Pinterest is a great platform. YouTube has a lot of free and useful resources. And overall, do your research a little bit, and then we'll get back to designing.